know about you, but when I'm traveling or selecting places to go to, I typically like to travel to places that are completely different than what I experience on my day to day, right? Like culturally, food wise, aesthetically. Like, I just want to see something and then be exposed to something that's different. And I also like to learn and engage with just the culture in different ways. So, South Korea was that for me. And my way of engaging was living there and working there for 1 year. Technological advancement. Like, I felt like I lived in the future for a year. If you want to experience the future, go to South Korea. This video is not Japan, but I would say Japan too. But go to South Korea. Like, if you want to experience what living in the future would look like and feel like, go there. Like, I promise you that's the place you want to be. Hi, I'm Eb, a storyteller. I share my passion for storytelling and traveling with my experiences that I have as a nomad living in the world. If you are new to my channel, thank you for coming. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. This particular video is part 2 about my experience in South Korea. The part 1 was about my experience teaching English as a foreign language in South Korea. So if you're curious or interested in that, you can go and you can check out video 1. But this video will be more so about just my experience living and being a part of the culture. And some of the things that stand out, like I remember after orientation, when you come in, they have this onboarding system, and part of that is learning about like the history of the culture and cultural norms. Like, you have to bow and extending your arm out like this if you're giving money or doing a handshake. You can't just have like one hand, and just different things in terms of the culture that are cultural norms. And I remember they said that after the war, the economy, of course, took a deep a deep dive, right? Like a nosedive. And one of the ways that they restored their economy was there was this day where individuals came with valuables, right? Everyone came with their valuables to give to help revitalize the economy. So whatever was valuable to you that you still had at that time, you bought it in. So whatever that center was, and that's what they helped to use that money from those valuables to help restore the economy. And also Samsung was huge because it put them on the map for trade and opening up for that way. And something like just resonated with me and stuck, and I just looked at the resilience of the people, right? And collectively coming together for a common good and just having this pride within their culture and pride in themselves, and how the young people even know the history of the country, the history of their people, and they honor that, right? There are days for survivors that they still honor, and my students are just very aware. I remember one student told me that they wear uniforms just from when Japan came in and had control of the country. Uniforms became a thing for the students, and even having your hair cut at a certain level for a certain grade. There's just this homogenous look that occurs in Korea, right? Like, if one hairstyle is trending, you'll see all women wearing it, even like a lipstick color, men too, right? Like, the haircuts are like, it's very homogenous there. And like my apartment, for instance, talk about living in the future. My apartment had heated floors. My toilet seat was heated. I had a bidet. What else? Of course, there was a little washing machine in there. It was a studio, so in efficiency is what the company that I taught for, that's what they put me up in. But yeah, wet showers are a thing too. I kind of manifested to have a separate shower, but yeah, heated floors and heated toilet seats. And you'll find that at like places when you're out too, like the bidet for the front and the back. Cool. Again, the future. Gadgets galore. Like, stationery is beautiful. They're just smart and innovative people is what I can say. Like, just smart and innovative. I loved it. The biggest thing though, of course, like the food, right? Korea does spice, like spicy, like fire level spice. So if you like spicy food, which I do, one of my favorite dishes is tteokbokki. Tteokbokki is like a cylinder rice noodle in this spicy red sauce with like fish cake. It's so good. I love tteokbokki. You could probably find it at a Korean restaurant if you have one in your town. Of course, everyone knows the Korean barbecue. That's very meat heavy. I didn't really partake in the meat. The fried chicken was really popular too. There's one place called Olive Chicken. It's like a fast food chicken spot, but A lot of the foreigners will go crazy over the fried chicken. I can't speak to it. I never tried it, but everyone liked the fried chicken. I like tteokbokki, kalguksu. It's another noodle-based dish, like a soup. Like warm, comforting foods were popular. At least I took to them. Even sundubu. Sundubu is like tofu in spicy red sauce. But after the war, street food became a thing just for having something that's accessible for people to eat and also affordable, right? Like, remember that economy took a nosedive, and there's a series on Netflix that you can watch just to see the birth of street food in South Korea. And if you go to Seoul, you can go to get tons of street food. They do desserts well too. Bingsu is one where it's like the shaved ice and they pour condensed milk on top with fruit and all type of other toppings that you want. Even the fast food restaurants are different. Like I remember having like a shrimp burger for the first weekend when I was there. Like, what? They have shrimp burgers. But I love the seafood. Mackerel is a popular fish out there. West Indians kind of know it well too. But it's so like oily, and that oil produces a nice flavor that you don't really need any seasoning. They just put salt on it. But if you make it to Jeju or Busan, those are like coastal places. Jeju is the Hawaii of South Korea, which I highly recommend you go check out. But you can get like fresh seafood that's delicious and affordable. I think maybe $10 for like the fish and unlimited sides. Like, so they call the sides banchan, and you get unlimited banchan and free refills on the banchan. Like a free refill that you would get on a drink, you get it on the sides. Once you finish, they'll come with another dish, or you can just like chogyo. Chogyo is like asking them to come over and they'll come and bring you the dish. Some restaurants even have like a table where you push a button when you're ready for a refill. Some will have like a button for like, this is the refill for a drink, or you just want the waiter to come over. So they're quite advanced. And so you have your tteokbokki, kalguksu, and the mackerel. Those are my favorites and my highlights. And for dessert, the bingsu, and there is this ice cream that my students put me on to. I saw it before and I questioned it because it has corn in it. Yes, ice cream with corn. It's like the outside is a waffle cone, and inside the waffle cone, it looks like a corn on the cob, and inside the waffle cone is like a coating of chocolate. And then you have your layer of ice cream with corn kernels in it. Don't knock it till you try it. It became one of my favorites. I like the ice cream. Doesn't taste like corn. It's like just like a vanilla ice cream, but corn is like popular. They put corn on pizza. I dig it. I love corn. So I was okay with it. But like, if you're not a corn person, you may want to specify if you're ordering pizza. I know you're not going to go all the way to South Korea to get pizza, but they do pizza well. But if you find yourself having pizza when you're in South Korea, say no corn, and they'll give you like honey to drizzle on a pizza on the side. Again, I enjoyed it. Like, don't knock it till you try it. But yeah, they have like so many stores. Like, drinking socially is like a thing. Like, so soju is like their sake, right? It's this small drink. It's so cheap. It's like $1, under $1.50, and you can drink on the streets. Like, even say like their 7-Elevens, they have, I think, like GS25 and a bunch of different small stores where you could sit outside and have your soju, or you could walk along the streets and have your soju. And yeah, it's quite cool. So, and I remember the flavors. They'll have seasonal ones. Like there was a cherry blossom one for the spring. There was watermelon and different flavors. But check out when you're there. Check out soju. Get you a bottle of soju. You probably can find soju in the States too, but try soju. The music. I love Korean music, and not just K-pop. Like, K-pop wasn't my favorite style of music. I enjoyed like the Korean jazz and cafe music. Like the music, if you watch a K-drama, that music that you hear in the K-dramas, that was the music that I enjoyed. I even went in Seoul. Seoul has this kind of like a gentrified section where you'll find a lot of expats and some Koreans who are not with the homogenous look, right? You can find some with like pink hair, red hair. It's in Itaewon. Itaewon is a section of Seoul, but there's tons of clubs out there, a lot of places to eat for vegans too. If you're going and you don't eat meat, vegans, vegetarians, you can find a lot of those in Itaewon. But they had this place for live music, and I went one night for like jazz, and it was cool. They were singing in English, some songs were in Korean, but it was a nice place to try out the music. Speaking of cafe music, one of my favorite things, Cafes. Oh man, the best cafes I've seen out of all of the places that I visited around the world. Korea does cafes like, oh man, second up would be Mexico, but South Korea cafes are like, cause they're so posh and like luxury. You go in and it'll have like the gold seats with the velours covering on the seats, and the prices for the coffee or the beverages are less than what you pay for Starbucks. And you can sit there for hours, which most locals will do because work is such a huge part of the culture. Everybody's working or studying, and instead of doing that at your home, you meet up with your friend and you go to a cafe and do it there. So cafes are nice. The music is cool. There's a nice ambiance. If you're a cafe person, cafes in South Korea will blow your mind. You will not be disappointed. You will enjoy it. And it's funny because anytime I would enter a place, like they settle disputes by like doing rock, paper, scissors, right? So you'll see like gari bari bo, and that's when they'll spit out like rock, paper, scissors. And when I would come in, they would just automatically know I'm an English speaker, so you would see them doing like the rock, paper, scissors to see who will speak to me. And whoever lost would be so bummed out, like, oh man, like now they have to use English, and it's intimidating to speak like the language of a native person. So that was a cool thing. Even in class, like adults use rock, paper, scissors to solve disputes. I've started using it. It's cool. If you and your friends are trying to figure something out, rock, paper, scissors it out and see who the winner. But buses are clean. They run like, we're talking about efficiency on another level, like super efficient. If that, like when you go to the, at least in my town, I was in Sejong, and in Sejong, and other parts of Korea too, but at our bus stops, there will be a monitor and it'll tell you like the bus number and the time that it's coming and if it's on schedule or off schedule. But that bus comes and it's only hovering at that stop for a second. Get on and get off. So like if you were trying to catch the bus system, it's so easy to use. You can even use your Google Maps and it'll alert you of the stops. But Kakao is their version of Google. So if you go to South Korea, I highly encourage you download Kakao because it'll be more updated with like the streets. But anyway, the buses are clean and affordable. So from my town, Sejong, is an 1.5-hour bus ride to get to Seoul. So easy weekend trip. Another thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about South Korea was their the emphasis that they place on education. Right? Like even teachers just have a high status in society, like under government officials, and the bowing part of the culture. You get used to individuals bowing at you and just paying respect when you greet someone else too. And the higher the status, the lower your bow will go, right? So like you might be going real far down sometime with like the principal or somebody who's higher up. And I remember when I left, I was still doing this, like extending my hand if I gave anyone money when I was outside of South Korea. Like that still stayed with me. I found it a nice way of respect. But the importance of education plays out because, for instance, when I was at the school, and I say this in my other video, I was tasked as a foreign teacher, as an English teacher, to not only was my responsibilities teaching classes, I also had to teach an after school class. And at one of my schools, I taught at 2 schools, and then I was tasked with creating like a winter program and a summer program for both my schools, right? But these programs are offered to the students for free, so they're just with opportunities always for learning and having extracurricular activities. Those type of things really help in the development of a young person, right? And you see that in the schools. It comes with a lot of pressure. Like there was also downsides. There's a day out of the year where you have to watch for suicides because it's the day where they take tests to get into the next grade level. So they find out if they get into the school that their families want them to get into or that they want to get into. And if they don't, that is like a huge blow, a really huge blow for them. So there was a day that we had to just be mindful of, like if someone is laying down too long on a desk, just because there's a lot of stress and pressure from working and education, because status matters and how educated you are reflects on you and your family. So that was a tricky piece, but I did enjoy just how important education is to their people and to the society, because outside of going to regular school, I taught at a public school. They have private schools, hagwons, where these students can go to after they leave me. So they'll be in school from maybe 7 until 9 p.m. if not later. And these hagwons can be for English, math, music, art. Amazing artists. Like, my students would just doodle on paper and give me things, and it would be some of the nicest art I've seen. But there's just a lot of extracurricular, and they stay busy and stay focused from like sun up to sundown. They are engaged, fully engaged, and I enjoyed that and appreciated that. So if you are considering South Korea or Asia and you don't know which country to go to, don't believe the hype. South Korea and North Korea, completely separate. You won't experience. We did have bomb drills. Like, you know how you have fire drills in school? We have bomb drills. That was new for me. But never experienced a thing of danger. Of course, be mindful, watch the news, do what you feel is right. But it's a beautiful country. The landscape is beautiful, rolling hills, lots of mountains to hike, especially if you're going during like spring or fall. Oh, it's beautiful. Those are the seasons I suggest, because Korea gets hot in the summer, like hot, like an armpit hot. And it gets cold in the winter. It snows out there. So, and the pollution is bad during the summer too. So I would suggest spring or fall. Their seasons align with the states, like the north side of the states. So just keep that in mind if you're looking. But yeah, my town is nice. Sejong, you can get there an hour and a half from Busan, the town I lived in. I don't live in South Korea anymore, but my favorites would be Busan. Go to the coast. Busan. Seoul is nice, but it's like a funky spin on New York, right? Just different, but busy city. If you don't like busy cities and you're more like a laid back vibe, Busan. And Jeju, you would have to take an additional flight. It's their separate island, their Hawaii of South Korea, but beautiful. Like, the water you can go out to and it'll still be at your waist, nice and blue. Bikinis are not really a thing if you do decide to go to the beach. A lot of Koreans cover up. They protect their skin to keep it the complexion that they want it to be. So they wear clothes and the beach. So I know, like, for me, that was a little different. But yeah, check it out. It's a cool place to see if you want to experience the future, want to eat some spicy, delicious food, and to learn about a new culture. You can even dress in their traditional garbs. You could pick, there are some traditional towns where you can go and you can rent the hanbok. That's their traditional clothing for women. And men, you can do it as well, where you want to feel like you're in like an old Korean film. You can dress and rent these and walk around the whole town for however many hours you decide to rent, and go get food and make a day out of it. But all in all, it's a cool place to visit, and I think you should add it to your list. But until the next video, love and light. Oh, and if you haven't, like and subscribe and share. Thank you.